Hello and welcome back once again, my friends. Hambbage here, and I'm thrilled you are too. Thanks so much for dropping by. I hope you're new folks, but if you've been watching along the way, you know we're in the midst of a great excavation, or at least a couple episodes of excavating along the way here. We're going to do it classy style, but we are going to load up on terracotta and red sand and all the other goodies. To use in our building projects. So that's the current mission. It's not a super perilous one, but we're getting a good chance to apply our beacon power, and that's a nice touch. And yeah, we've already made good progress. We've filled up a few shulker boxes here with only lots of terracotta, but we're kind of taking down. You can see the cut there. That's our stairway up, and we're going to kind of go through this corner, and we'll just edge out over onto that side for now. Should give us great plenty to get started, but what we're really actually looking for is this stuff, this red sand, because we need to load up on red sandstone that we can cook into smooth red the smooth red sandstone, and use that for our building. So we'll keep plugging away here. Not too long after the last episode in my time, I talked about maybe heading outdoors and getting in. Apparently it's not that late into the afternoon yet. I mean, it is, but it's not that cool yet. So I'll give it a little bit. I had kind of thought I would do one more of these anyway, so no harm there. Now, this is the way that I always should be going to preserve my steps to the top. I think that's quite enough there. So those two and that one. And there, and there. I like that. I like that orangish between the plain ones. That's cool. When I'm working with any super breakable blocks, dirt or ice or anything like that, I do try to angle back off the cut as much as I can to wherever I don't care too much about the never try to get down. Oh, this is still nice. We're still on a level we can use. That's good. Alright, now with the dark setting in, I'll just fill it in. It'll be a pain when I get repeatedly stuck in it otherwise, I'm sure. So yeah, using our beacon as a beacon, we'll just beacon our way back over here. Oh, nothing followed us out of the cave. We've now lit up. We're enjoying a bit of entertainment out of it previously, but just too much. Anything else? You over there. Back up the stairs we go. Again, I should carry the bed, but it's kind of a nice reset on the supplies and the pockets to empty them, and also to reset the tool. Which we'll probably need to do in another Minecraft day or so. One thing I've been meaning to do too, I haven't looked in quite a while, but I'm curious as to how far we've gotten in the world. We were close to 1,000. We're approaching it anyway, and that's no major feat. I understand that, but it is a big hype point among some YouTubers. Oh, 1,000 days. And for some people, that's a huge accomplishment. I don't mean to diminish it. If you've just started playing hardcore, making it 1,000 days in a hardcore world is a huge deal. Because as you've seen from my play, even when I get to a point when I've got totems and all that, we've still had close calls, and they usually happen when you're least expecting it. You know, the perfect example of that was falling in the end city. Um, sure, we were in an end city. There were shulkers around and stuff, but we weren't particularly threatened. We were, snacking when we needed to keep our hearts up and um, all that good stuff. But yeah, just one wrong step and we plummeted to the point of popping a totem. So it can happen very, very quickly and very easily. And until you've been down those roads a few times and you've fallen, lost world's fall damage, and understood that that can get you even when you got feather falling on your boots, or any number of similar and who knows what possibilities. That's the whole point, is that they can come from unexpected directions to get you and take your world, right? And that's what makes hardcore so cool. It's so engaging. It's constantly on the brink of being gone. Still keep an eye on the pick here. Want to not lose it the way I did in the iceberg mining episode. That was a pain. I mean, that's for stupidity. That's right up there with any way to lose a world. Just mining down to the point that your pick disappears. Awful. And I like to push it as much as the next person, try to get full value, but I just didn't even give it a look until I heard the thunk, and uh-oh. So yeah, we're definitely going to try to not repeat that one. But we're making decent progress here. We're cutting down a little bit. Just remember how far we had to go on those stairs, and each of these levels kicks out a little bit more. So you get more and more mining and terracotta goodness per level. Alright, back down we go. So this is where I immediately begin to regret having used the netherite on the the stuff. The fortune pick is what I'm trying to say. Having those, I don't think I have any more room in there. Nope. Having those that already done and not having to worry about it as much is very nice. I'm not going to pretend like that wasn't a priority. And in the moment, sure, it would be nice to have one more pick for this particular dig and project. And we'll get there. At some point we'll want more ancient debris more than anything else, and we'll go get it. I think we can do one more load here with this pick, and before bed, whichever comes first will be pretty well timed to run back downstairs and finish up. So lots more to do here. Oh yeah, I do need to go. I don't need to go all the way up because we're right here. We should start at these stairs. Again, this is going to be our means of keeping access all the way up and actually improving it, so you don't have to do the little Cubert style hop around, look for an angle and blocks of the right height to get up. Come on. Okay, now, oh, did I do that? very Urkel. Did I do that? This is a good point to cut off. And then again, just work your way back in on those. Okay. Not sure why that stopped so much, but whatever. So here we go, defined. And all the more reason to keep an eye on that pick. That time I was trying to look at how many levels have we come down already. Come on, pick. You got it. You got it in you. I know you do. You're a good, strong pick. Full of many durability units. We call them Terracotas. They are an official unit of measurement. It's like all the fun of mowing a lawn without the heat and the like grass dust that gets all over you whenever you empty the bag, or the smell of gas, humidity, the sweat dripping in your eyes as you go, having to flip your cassette tape in the Discman or the Walkman as you go. Yeah. I know. I've been there. But I always enjoyed, way before Minecraft ever existed. The best part of lawn mowing was just the shapes, the repetitive patterns. Even then, when it sometimes felt miserable and it was the last thing on earth I wanted to do, even though it was my job, I was getting paid for it. Watching them unfold on the grass, if you followed out around trees and stuff, so that there were ever expanding circles and that kind of stuff, just so soothing, really, to enjoy it. And if you did get the like perfect weather where it wasn't too hot and maybe the grass wasn't super lush and thick, that was always the worst. When you like go half a row and the whole bottom of the mower is jammed up in that pulpy wet grass. Not even that it had just been wet or anything, but just that it was so verdant that it clogged everything up, and you have to like flip over the mower and gut it all out. And now your hands are all green, and just everything. The trash bags were heavy. Oh, can we do it with this pick? Come on, pick. You got this. You're a good pick. The beacon there to inspire the pick to be healthy. Be cool if there was a durability factor in the beacon. Would you guys trade haste for durability? You can't mine as fast, but you can mine longer as a result of a beacon. Would that be worth setting up? And let's say you couldn't stack them, right? They were mutually exclusive, so you can't build a second beacon just to have both. You got to pick one. Which do you go for? Okay, he seems to be getting away. Hopefully, you won't come and crater my beacon on my bed. Anything? Oh, got some. And almost another box. Oh, don't forget though. You're gonna come down here. Yeah, I don't trust the creepers at all. The fact that he's bouncing around and lingering up there. Trouble. All right, well, here we go. We've almost got down to this kind of stony, well, no. We're like halfway down to the stony layer. Who are we fooling? So I think we're going to try this and see if we regret it. I think we're going to see these stairs coming and be able to... One more? Oh. And every time. And then as soon as one happens, it's like, oh, you're getting all of them now. Oh. Ooh, so in this moment in time, Louis Oosthuizen is leading in the U.S. Open golf tournament. He's got a score of 13 under. And I'd kind of been pulling for this Deschamps, something. I don't know how to say his name. It's not Deschamps, I know. And this kind of shows the COVID lack of awareness of what's going on. I definitely watched both of the Masters at least as much as possible, and I know one of my actual recorded videos was when the player from Japan had actually won the Masters. It was one of my first videos. I was like, hey, shout out to that guy. Awesome. Now I can't even think of his name. But yeah, I realized that this guy had won the U.S. Open. I've kind of followed along, but it didn't register for me. I really don't think I'd watched much at all of whenever they held the U.S. Open last year. And so it didn't stand out the way some of the others had. But I'm watching, and there's this guy that's wearing the old not baseball ball style cap, but like old driving cap, like the cartoon guy Andy Cap used to wear, and that certainly is a reminiscent look for anybody who's old enough to remember him, without the pants and the full outfits. But Payne Stewart was just an incredible, entertaining, great seeming guy golfer. When I was younger, and tragically died in a plane accident. The cabin of a private jet that he was in depressurized, and so it was like flying on autopilot. And unfortunately, everybody inside it had already passed away, so they had to kind of like force it down away from any metropolitan areas because Otherwise, it would have just either flown until it ran out of gas, or more likely, autopilot would have disengaged when it was time to land. That would have been over whatever city he was trying to fly into. So, um, very sad, and died right at the beginning peak of potentially his career, and such a personable, likable guy. It was really sad. But he always wore the whole European style caps as well. And so, watching this guy, I was like, "Oh, that reminds me of him." And I didn't know anything about him, but then I saw, and again, I've been having this on in the background while I've been recording, and I'm not listening to the commentary or anything. I'm seeing the occasional leaderboards, and I look down, and it's this guy's shoes, right? Oh, he's totally off the leaderboard now. I can't even see how his name is spelled anymore to try. Um, but he's got like these shoes, and on the outsides they're like, kind of grayish white with some like red. It wasn't Nike. I don't know what brand of shoe it was, but just some, like kind of shoe pattern on the outside. And then on the inside of the other one, it was like all this like blue stars. At first, it didn't even hit me. And I was like, "Oh my god, he's got like flag shoes," and they looked so awesome. I'm like, "Who is this guy?" Because I saw his name and I expected he was French. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that was the guy that won the U.S. Open last year. He's from DeChambeau, like Rochambeau, I guess. I don't know. Again, I haven't listened, and I don't recall them saying his name the last time around, so I have no idea how to pronounce it. But I'm gonna call him DeChambeau, like Rochambeau. The old paper rock scissors. Um, so yeah, when I was setting up one of the videos to upload, I did a little Wikipedia, read up on this guy. Seems like quite the guy. He, Tiger, and Jack are the only three people to have ever won the collegiate, the U.S. Amateur Open, and the U.S. Open, all in their careers. Only three people. So the scholastic NCAA level, the just open, no age restriction amateur championship, and then the pro championship. Of course, many of that is because you only have a certain window before you're going to turn pro as a golfer, right? You're going to go from your collegiate career to the point where you get entry into the Masters, and then when you're in the Masters, depending on where you finish, you may be denied. You can't like claim pro in the middle of the tournament. So if you're playing as an amateur, you're an amateur. But you may very quickly go pro right after that. If you've done very well as an amateur, you don't want to lose that sponsor possibility. All that your value going in is already at a peak. So it doesn't really matter that I gather that up, but I guess I got a few extra pieces of colors that I didn't already have. Yeah, I'll just go down this way. Again, they're very gentle slopes, really. They're just the patterns of two off blocks makes it pretty difficult. I don't know. Did we have any white anywhere? This would be it. Yep. Haha, worth it. Totally worth. Is that still a thing that the cool young kids are saying? So worth. Totally worth. I remember when my niece and nephew a few years back were all over that. So not worth. Like, it. it's a short little word, but it's a good one. Let's use it, huh? Oh, there we go. So many nice little loots. Maybe define our staircase again, but now we can come over this side. And again, we may be back to do all of this hillside too, but I don't want to just intentionally make it difficult on myself to get in there. So I'm just going to kind of contour it a little bit. Obviously, we got the eyesore taken care of. That's no problem. And it's kind of beautiful, in a way, it's kind of nice. That is, come on, Minecraft. Why you gotta do us like that? I love the world and all the generation and all that, but just split those out in however you build the algorithm, whatever it is. Make it so that those go not all in a straight line, and it would look so much more realistic and beautiful. Just saying. Nothing but love. Just saying. All right. Forgot about this little hill. It's good to see our beacon. Good to use our beacon. And I am glad to have it all iron. As nice as it can be to do the multicolored beacons and all that kind of stuff. I like having them nice and consistent. Anything? Terracota, so full, so fast. So like I said, we'll, man, I'm in the mode. We will definitely do a gallery of terracotta styles and colors and options and all that kind of stuff to show what we have available. See how that could be used in our building, or what opportunities it presents for us. Oh man. Every time. Of course. Gotta be one. I think I said in one of them, the red terracotta for the floor would actually be, for an American West kind of period home with some adobe and that kind of stuff, would be very traditional and pretty accurate, because when mixing the adobe, they would actually use animal blood as the wetting agent, because somehow when it dried or something, it would then make it a little more glossed or something. I forget. It's been a lot of years, and I saw this or heard this. I believe I was at Bent's Old Fort in southeastern Colorado. Another place that, ironically, in different scale, fits this model that we've talked about for our far end of the world type settlement. These were some guys that created a trading post on one of the branches of the Santa Fe Trail, and I don't know, it was like something cut off of the Santa Fe Trail, and eventually adopted later to, I believe, bypass kind of an area that was home to some more hostile Native Americans. So rather than engaging, the folks that were trading, again, these guys weren't the, what we should do? Let's go on a whole policy of eradication. No, they just want to make money. They didn't want to deal with it. So, all right, we'll just go around. And these guys, the Bents, they were brothers, I believe. They set up trading with trappers and the native communities to facilitate that. Anybody stopping along the way could get in. And again, it kind of evolved into a little bit of a transit stopover as that trail became less about trade goods and furs and things, and much more about people coming in as an avenue of established travel to getting access to land and resetting their lives. So pretty cool. But as I was, and again, this was back in my photography kind of days, I was traveling solo and just exploring a part of the state I'd never been to. I'd lived here for, I don't know, at least a dozen years by that point, and I had never really done southeastern Colorado at all. There's a reason. There's not a ton out there. When you talk to people that have been there or been from there, in college, one of the people in my dorm was from La Junta, I think. I don't want to misattribute that, but I haven't talked to the guy since my freshman year of college, probably. So I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. Um, but he I was like, yeah, no, that's why I'm here. I don't want to be there. You don't want to go there. There's nothing there. But it's beautiful in an empty kind of wild space, and there's a lot of wildlife that in the rest of Colorado doesn't come. You tie into that northwestern Texas panhandle, Oklahoma panhandle, corner Kansas there, so you get some more eastern species and some more southern species than I would normally see around my home. And so that had been a big draw. And there's some national grasslands and places down there. So I wanted to go just kind of on a solo driving, camping, photography type trip and see some area down there. And it was wonderful. One of my real memorable trips. And having already said many times to this audience, the mountains I felt it from being a little kid. It's just kind of a place that I draw energy and peace from. For whatever your religious backgrounds are, if you have any, I hope you have some spiritual peace. No matter what shape that takes. For people to just be casual, oh, I don't believe in anything. Well, there's a lot of mental and emotional well-being to come from having faith in something. I'm not here to tell you what that should be. Figure that out for yourself. That's kind of part of the human condition. Just hopefully it's not something that scapegoats others or limits your ability to live your life by self-doubt or anything like that. Anyway, the mountains are my place. That ever since I was a little kid, I've been like, this is what I feel. This is the biome, if you will, that I belong in, and I don't want to be far away. And when I can be in them, I'm amazed at each time how much of a boost I just get from feeling that proximity and the landscape and the contours and all that good stuff. So don't get me wrong when I say my southeastern Colorado trip, which I've done once, stands out and is in many ways more memorable to me than any others, just because I've been to the mountains so many times that they kind of blend together. There have been spectacular vistas and sights beheld, wildlife that you can't see anywhere else in the country, and I cherish all those opportunities too. But there's something to be said. It's you kind of see one mountain peak or one range, and some of them become like old friends. You recognize them along the way, but the kind of like the northern taiga, which is another favorite of my area. The Boundary Waters and some of those kind of areas are one of my favorite childhood camping areas. The extreme northern Minnesota, southern Canada, along the northern edge of the Great Lakes, or the northern edge of the states that border the Great Lakes. The UP of Michigan, Wisconsin, some of those, all just beautiful, but you don't have a lot of variety of wildlife. The circumstances are such that they have a specific adapted number of species, and those are what you can expect to see. Some are more elusive, some are less, but you kind of know in advance what might be there. And southeastern Colorado, and northeastern Colorado too, is just another category that I tend to see a lot more of. I live closer to it. It's a couple hours drive max. It's not half a day to get down there. So What was I? Oh, hang on. Let's get this angle done here. Now, we were talking about southeastern Colorado because, Hambbage, why were you telling the story? Um, well, it was a good trip. Well, it'll come to me. You guys know it will. It might be a couple of episodes from now. I'll be like, oh, remember when I was talking about southeastern Colorado? This is why I was. It was really important. I had to tell you. Sorry it took so long. Kind of one of those deals. We don't have a ton of daylight left, but what we do have, we can start to do this. Because that's good. More area, but taken down to this little dip here will yeah, will help keep us gathering. Ooh, forgot about all this. Well, that works out perfect with the night. Oof. Think we're full. Pretty close to full. Everybody topped off. Looks that way. Let's go get in bed. We'll grab the last 3. Oh, I'm going to get a sip here. So yeah, honestly, that's going to bug me now. Why were we talking about getting down to southeastern Colorado? I don't recall. Um, just to see something different. I don't know. I don't remember the context that we got into that on, but it was very cool. Trust me. And if you ever want to go to a place that's free from crowds, any of that kind of stuff, where you can just get away and enjoy some camping or something, be on your own. Those are the places I would just advise against hunting season, right? Because there's a lot of these wildlife areas and things that are much more heavily used for hunting. That's kind of why they exist, right? We have a bunch of commercials out here in Colorado. Hug a hunter, because hunters are what pay for all the wildlife areas, and it's very true. And in Colorado, we kind of have this perception that everybody's a hiker, biker, climber, enthusiast kind of person, as opposed to the more traditional sports people, fishing, hunting, that kind of stuff. The legacy of Boulder and some of those kind of things. But certainly, everywhere, really, it's a fallacy. I think in every state, everywhere, you've got people that have been raised on and continue to practice the skills that were handed down generation to generation, and those have and someday probably will again feed families and vary diets, let people live well. So it's good they have them, and it's very true. As a long time as a photographer and birder and some of those kind of things, I paid a lot of fishing license and hunting license fees that I never used, just because I wanted to support the land. I used it a ton because for the rest of the year, some of these state wildlife areas and places that are designed to promote habitat and protect habitat for hunting in the limited seasons when, in the fall when the species have raised their young, they're ready to head off, and that's the time they're fattened up and everything when you're looking at it from a food perspective. But mainly it's about young. The young are now old enough to survive through the year on their own, or through the winter migration, whatever it may be, and so they aren't for birds. They aren't on nests for deer and stuff like that. The fawns don't depend on the adults for protection from other predators. So yeah, the rest of the spring and summer, um, those lands are kind of very accessible and very quiet, aside from other hunters and things who are out observing wildlife because they want to know about it or preparing blinds or those kind of things. And I don't know what all the regulations are there. If if you can set up individual blinds or if they're just hunt clubs and things like that that are set up, I don't know. But that was about it. I'd see some rangers every once in a while, but very very uncommon, and a very few other people that were out hiking or walking or anything like that, and camp, in untouched areas where you wouldn't see another person. And while you're not like high desert, you still have a sky full of stars and wildlife that's not just used to camp crowds coming in every night and every day and keeping their distance. And, you can see all kinds of stuff up and around. Um, I this was a different trip, but similar type circumstances. This was a much more northern Colorado or northeastern Colorado. Um, I was in a wildlife area, and it was outside of hunting season. Nobody was around, but I, kind of pulled this as a possible target. It's got some lakes, got some wildflower or waterfowl, um, and it was pretty much sitting untouched. And I went out there, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't that trip because I think I was going through to somewhere else and was just like camping for the night. Going to get an early start, go on and do some kind of uh, sightseeing or, a targeted species, something or other. I don't know what it was, but um, I was going to get up and get out pretty early in the morning. So I went into this place, and I would, most of the time when I'm just rolling for photography or whatever and not camping with friends, or even then sometimes I'll just sleep in the back of my truck. I got a 4Runner, and I'll flip down the back seats, lay them flat, throw a bag in the back, or actually some blankets and like a sheet or something like that, and just have layers ready to go and spread that out in the back. I don't have to pitch a tent. I just pull up, set up whatever I'm going to cook for dinner or anything like that. Have a chair in the back to chill on, and makes it real easy to get in and out on your way. You have your pack and all that up in the seats. You, uh-oh. Hmm. I think I might have heard it there. A little plop, like something was stuck. Fingers crossed here, folks. Okay. Well, whatever it was, it's now gone. That was that little snag. Used to be kind of the bane of a lot of worlds of invisible blocks, where um, you think you've mined an area, nothing is there visibly, but you just can't walk through, and that's in my experience, it's one of two things. Either you just got corruption and things are about to go bad. If it exists all along a boundary, you just can't go forward. That's trouble. That's not good at all. Um, but if it's just like that, where you, oh man, where you, where's all your buddies? Maybe they'll kill you. I don't have to dig up a bunch of. Oh, they're all up high. We can go up high. I'm not gonna fight you. You can't make me. Hey guys, you left your leader behind. Just telling you. You left him behind. Oof. Okay, now where did he go? Did he make it up the stairs? Is he down here? Oh, there he is. Okay, good. Good. He's up here. Come on. No milk needed for me. No, no. Did you fall down, go boom? Okay. Sorry, after that little interruption. Oh, we're full. Probably because we just loaded up on a bunch of junk. It looks like it's closer to bedtime than it was. Oh, man. Another pillager raid. Another, not a raid, technically. Another lost story fragment. I don't know what I was talking about last time now. It's nighttime almost. Good news is I remembered the most recent story. I still don't remember why I was talking about La Junta in southeastern Colorado in the first place, but I remember what we were talking about before we were interrupted, and that's a miracle in and of itself. So I was just car camping solo, out with my cameras and all that. Wanted to be uh, up way before dawn, and asleep kind of when the animals went to sleep, and see this area that was largely ignored by the people in the area outside of hunting season and unknown to people from the rest of Colorado because honestly, we're kind of prone to mountain snobbery, right? Like, oh, if you're not going to the mountains, why would you even bother? Why would you eastern Colorado? This is what you drive through. That's practically Nebraska or Kansas. Blah blah blah. It's beautiful out there, and I think a lot of the folks between the states will make more use of those kinds of areas than people give them credit for. All the people that complain about crowds in the mountains and not being able to find campsites and all that kind of stuff, they undervalue half the area of the state. Just never even bother to explore and understand, oh, you know what, there's wetlands and lakes and reservoirs and all kinds of stuff out on the plains that offer all kinds of summer opportunities and entertainment for families and are more, in many ways more accessible. I just ignore them. So I think they're hidden gems. But anyway, I was at the state wildlife refuge. Nobody else is even there. I don't even think there's a gatehouse, right? It's just like a thing, but they have a camping loop, kind of like a paved loop with little spots and sites and all that. And I think a lot of them do in the off season, or their off season, so not hunting. There's no reservations, but there's just pay boxes where each campsite will have a little number sign, and the ranger or whoever, if one of them is reserved by people, will come out and put a little placard in and say, hey, it's June 20th. Campsite 18 is reserved for so and so, and don't use it, right? And that's, it's kind of honor system, right? There's nobody else out there, but if they come out and are like, hey, this site was supposed to be mine, you're in it, what are you doing? Remember that a lot of those people may have guns, so, a well-armed society is a polite society, and that's a good thing to remember when you're just deciding to go poach a campsite. Although that reminds me, I'm not going to sidetrack too much on my story, but just this weekend, one of my buddies sent out a tweet. I was like, placing a tuba on the campsite or the picnic table of your reserve's campsite will ensure that no one occupies the campsites on either side of you. I thought that was funny. Like, just leave a tuba out there. Yeah, we may not hang out. That'll kind of advertising in advance what people may be eating for your neighbors. No, but anyway, I didn't have to worry about any of that. Nobody was there. None of these sites were reserved, but it was beautiful. There's a little latrine building kind of thing that just pits, but it was obviously cleaned. Somebody probably had like a weekly rotation to go out there and check on it, and easiest job around until it's hunting season. But yeah, so I get out there, I set up camp. I got probably like a can of soup or something for dinner on a little stove, and enjoy it. And all of a sudden, starts. No, I don't even think it did that night. I think I climbed in, gone to bed, all geared up, and at some point I wake up and it's just hammering rain, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm inside a truck, no big deal, right? And I slept like a baby, awesome. And when I woke up, I remember some bird was outside. It wasn't one that I normally see. It was a plains bird, one of the ones that I was there ostensibly looking for. And it's calling, and I'm kind of like, oh, I think that's what I'm looking for. But all the windows were fogged up because it rained overnight, and I'm stuck in the truck, and I don't want to scare it, right? It's like hopping around on the ground. I'm kind of like rubbing the hole in the window and in the steam on the window, condensation, trying to peek out at it. But of course, you can't get pictures like that. So I had that little moment where I'm like, oh, yeah, rained a ton. And then I eventually get up, kind of wander around in the little campsite, just briefly get started. But then there was some place I wanted to be pretty early, and so I was trying to get out, before sunrise, onto wherever I was supposed to be. What I didn't know was that I had never had experience with Colorado mud out on some of these undeveloped roads, and often if you're driving on country roads, they're graveled, and that's a big help. It sometimes feels like a pain because you get washboarding and all that kind of stuff, and it can feel rough and like, man, why do they got to do that? But once it rains, you understand why. And I was out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody knows that I'm there, right? Yeah, even though my friends, I'd left a notice that, hey, I'm going out this way. This is kind of my trip. But nobody knew what state wildlife area I was going to stop at or anything like that. Well, I was back at this out-of-the-way campsite, and wherever it was I was trying to go, I was trying to get to in a kind of hurry. And it excuse me, I found out about mud on roads, real mud, clay plains mud that's unchecked by anything else. And I grew up learning to drive in Midwest winters. Ice, that, yeah, it gets salted and sanded and stuff, but it's pretty much there to stay for the winter. You get used to not having traction or managing traction, or easy on the accelerator to not go into skids and all that. And I felt like I was in a bumper car, right? A kiddie car. I'm just bouncing around, and what is going on? What did I just find myself in? And I didn't think I was going to get out. I was seriously concerned that I would not make it out of this part. Um, and I had to kind of go on foot through this sloggy clay mud and find some branches and things. And this is like sagebrushy type area, so it wasn't just like quick. And I had to like go find some amounts of driftwood out on these arid high plains and lay those out to get traction to go up this windy hill out. And it was like creep along, place them. It was like the old building the pyramids kind of stuff, right? Like they would just lay out the logs and then roll the block over and then move the log from the end back up. It was a little bit of that. And I didn't have, after that experience, now that I knew they make, oh man, I can't think of the company or what they call them, but they're these little like traction, rubberized, plasticky, trays kind of thing. And when you have trucks, you can hang them off the rack. Just always have them with you. And if you get stuck in mud or snow or anything like that, you can sort of dig with them, but you can also like plant them into mud and get the traction that you need to pull your way out. And it kind of equates to putting an old scrap of carpet or something in your trunk. That was one that I knew in the Midwest. Kitty litter in the back, anything like that you can sprinkle out on ice and snow. That doesn't work the same way in the mud though. But when you're dealing with snow, that can be just the ticket to get you that little bit of traction to get out of being stuck. But yeah, I didn't have any of that kind of stuff. This wasn't winter. I wasn't thinking of it in winter. Well, first of all, I had truck with I drive commercial TA all-terrain traction tires, and they're designed for trucks, pickup truck type trucks that are going to be at work sites that are unpaid, all over the place. So they're not like consumer off-roading tires that are all fancy and all that kind of stuff. These are the ones that the guys are going to use that just need to get there for work and don't care about flash or names or that kind of stuff. And I love them. I've off-roaded all over the place, water, mud, all that kind of stuff, but they didn't do a lick of good for me in that mud. And I was maybe I hadn't even gotten them then yet, because there was one trip up to a ski area too, where I remember being on the icy road. So maybe that was before I'd upgraded. I still had whatever the tires were that it came with. Whatever the case, it was bad news, and I have never since underestimated mud when I've gone camping or solo driving out in the middle of nowhere, which is where I try to get to whenever I'm going. And yeah, if you're looking for camping out in the middle of nowhere, that's the place to go. Get down to some national grasslands, wherever you can down in southeast Colorado. But do please respect closures and access laws. There's a lot of that land down there that looks pretty indistinguishable, but it could be privately ranching land or leased ranching land, and people count on that for their livings. So do be respectful. If again, I say that idly because I know anybody listening to this has a low chance of being in Colorado, much less deciding, you know what, this guy's right. I want to go to southeastern Colorado. Sounds like a paradise. It's probably like 115 degrees down there right now, and windy, and everything's probably crisped up, nice and brown. So yeah, that sounds perfect for a vacation. But if you want camping privacy, I'll tell you, you can't beat it. All right, we got 2 of 3 picks down. I don't know, but we're going to get into shovel territory here pretty quick. Not that that's going to do us a ton of good. Maybe what we should do, though, is kind of trim out on our terracotta. and leave stone, which we already have quite a bit of. Focus on what we're here for, the local attractions. Because what I don't want to do is, well, for one thing, um, our shulkers are getting full. We don't have infinite space here. We can certainly allocate more because I don't think the red sand is going to quite balance out what we've taken out of the corner of this hill. But it's oh no, oh no, oh wait, are these my stairs? No, what are my stairs? It seemed very stairs-like. Who knows? Maybe this isn't such a good idea. Well, I guess as long as I don't fall off the edge, that's a perfectly good idea, right? Dirt makes a much nicer barrier when it. Oh, Duchambeau, the guy with the cool shoes. Looks like he had a tough end of the round. He was at one point he had the sole lead at 500. Now he's 3 over. So yeah, things must have turned. Pressure. Although he won the U.S. Open last year, so obviously he can handle it. But no crowds. I'm not. Again, I haven't been watching close enough. I'm not saying that's it, but that could certainly play a role, right? People that may struggle with having, a gallery of people standing, what are they, like 15 feet away from you as you make a golf shot? I can't even imagine. Anybody that's like, oh yeah, golfers, they got it easy, I can play golf. Can you play golf with 100 people all hustled around you as you try to make a shot out of the rough that, was just the shot you totally didn't want to make that puts you in trouble, and now you got to try to save it? And oh yeah, if you look slightly to the left or the right, there's a bunch of faces just staring at you like, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? And oh, by the way, don't hit him. So, yeah, that is some crazy, crazy play. I haven't looked at the time again. Hour 2? Hey, at least we're towards the end of the day now, so good thing my instinct is coming back on the time, since I did one that was like 50 minutes and then a couple that were near to an hour and a half. So we'll, how close are we? Try to get this level, maybe. It seems so different. Maybe it's just my aim or something, doing the one instead of the 2 high sections, but hey, look at this. What do you know? We got a whole other hill to take down. Alright, how do we do back over here? Did we get everything? I don't think so, did we? No. Oh, very soothing. Very zen-like, peaceful. kind of hyping this up as we wind down here. I think this is going to be the wrap up of this episode. We'll go take down the proceeds of this level and store them away and then wrap up. So kind of start winding it down a little bit. I think this is going to be the end of my recording day as well. You guys are welcome to hang out as long as you like. Watch these videos until your eyes are ready to crash into the pillow. They're here for you, and I'm not going to take them away. So you guys, you guys can party all night for all I care. Enjoy. For my side, I'm going to get out and enjoy the evening a little bit. Again, I started the day and I really kind of made that my Father's Day message. But for any of you folks that may be dads, may have dads, I know we all do on some level, but if you get dads around, remind them again that, if it's late in your day or even if Father's Day has passed, be like, hey, I just want to say again, and when it's not Father's Day, you're pretty awesome, Dad. You did a lot of stuff that even you may not think about too much, but I really appreciate it, and I know he will appreciate that. At least I would if I was your dad, whoever you are. Anyway, this has been. Oh, why did I have? That's a really good thing, though. Honestly. All right. So I think. Come on. What are you doing? Get in there. I think when we reconvene, that's not what I wanted. We are going to switch our focus to sand. Get all of this red sand area cleared out, as much as we can anyway, because we've nearly filled 9 shulkers full of terracottas. And that's certainly enough to get us started. We'll want to get back, maybe set up a whole different storage room for terracotta because it's so bulky and consuming. Oh, sorry, I hit the mic there. And can kind of spiral out of control. So rather than taking up what's a very limited remaining space in our main storage, we'll just set up something for terracotta and for building. And then we can pull from it as we need. And that will be awesome. We'll definitely do that. When we do, though, we'll also want to be cooking up a bunch of the sand. So we have lots and lots and lots of area here. That was kind of why we settled down into this particular little spot. We got a mine to play with, but we also have lots of this sand. So we'll kind of make a run for that next. See how much we can grab. Maybe if it extends out that way, we'll just run with our shovels until we can't. And then that will probably wrap up this trip, but we're going to mark the coordinates, leave our beacon, and then we can come back and continue on, reloaded, tools repaired and all that. We can continue to pull down a bunch of this stuff as much as we might need or want, and also go hit up that mine. So hope you've enjoyed wild reminiscence of the tourist bounties of southeastern Colorado and my attempts to get stuck in them. But for now, that's going to do it. Please do take your breaks if you're playing games or enjoying a bunch of content online, whether it's TV or PC videos or anything like that. Give yourselves a couple breaks along the way. Make sure you get up, move around, give your eyes and your brain a nice break from that constant digital feed, and your body will thank you for it. Help somebody out if they could use a hand, and stay the awesome, wonderful people that you are. You know how much I appreciate the comments. Keep those coming. I've really enjoyed having a little bit of an uptick. Some of you guys, you know who you are awesome to give such nice feedback publicly, and the likes and subscriptions are appreciated too. Subscriptions more for your sake than mine. They don't mean a whole lot, but they will keep you posted when I've got new stuff popping. And you never know. I thought maybe this weekend would back off a little bit, but got quite a bit of chance to do some recording. So we'll see what the week upcoming has to bring. But we are going to get back towards the base and start converting some of this red sand into sandstone and cooking it. And then do the same with some regular sand and be ready to build that tower. Can't wait. So, till then, we'll see you next time and have a great night. Happy Father's Day, everybody.